Hello, everybody. Welcome to Birds of a Feather. My name is Nathan Stroud. I'm the host of this show. This is episode 4 of Birds of a Feather. It is a beautiful Sunday afternoon here, Sunday, March 30th. Beautiful afternoon today, and we've got some stuff to talk about today. Obviously, this is fresh off the Orioles' loss to the Blue Jays. We're going to be going over that. Going to be going over a couple of Ravens things as well, and also some Gunnar Henderson updates as well. So let's just get right into it. Going over to the Orioles game, the Orioles lose 1-3 to the Toronto Blue Jays. A very disappointing loss, I would say, especially just because the offense just flat out disappeared. The problem wasn't getting on base. I mean, obviously you see they had 9 hits. They left 9 guys on base, but the big thing was the runners in scoring position. 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position. That is not ideal at all. That's very similar to the 2024 Orioles. This game was very reminiscent of last year's team. Obviously, in the second half, this team struggled heavily with runners in scoring position, and also in the playoffs struggled as well, which led to them getting swept. But today, just not a good day. 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position. 9 hits, 9 guys left on base, not good at all. Struck out 11 times as a team. Just a flat-out, flat-line performance from this offense. Starting from the top, Colin Cowser with the leadoff again. Goes 1 for 4, gets a strikeout. Gary Sanchez ends up pinch hitting for Colin Cowser because we'll talk in a little bit about Colin Cowser, what happened, but he did have to leave the game with an injury. So hopefully it's nothing serious, but we'll go over that in just 1 second. Adley Rutschman, 1 for 4 with a strikeout. Ryan O'Hearn goes 2 for 2 and then ends up getting pinch hit for with Ramon Laureano. Tyler O'Neill goes 1 for 4 with a strikeout. Cedric Mullins 1 for 4 with a strikeout. Ryan Mountcastle 1 for 4 with a strikeout. Jackson Holiday 1 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. So not ideal from Jackson Holiday at all right there. You don't like to see the 3 strikeouts for Jackson. Did get a hit, though, but Jackson Holiday, had a good game 2 days ago, but last game and this game not too great for Jackson. Ramon Urias, 1 for 3 with a walk, and Jorge Mateo, 0 for 3 with a strikeout. So the offense was pretty much just dead all around. One player on our team had more than 1 hit, and that was Ryan O'Hearn. And then he ended up getting pinch hit for Ramon Laureano based for a matchup. Because Ramon Laureano hits lefties pretty well. But, nobody on offense really had a great game. I would say that Ryan O'Hearn was the player of the game on offense. He did go 2 for 2, but he did also score the only run for the Orioles. And the only run that the Orioles scored this whole game was off of a wild pitch by Chris Bassett. So that was the only run. That was the only run that we scored. Ryan O'Hearn was at third. Wild pitch. He ended up scoring. That was it. So we didn't really manufacture a run based on our offense. We scored based off of a pitcher's mistake. So, you don't really want to see that. That's not really the best start that you could have. But, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? The Orioles, it was just a big struggle today. All around, big struggle on offense. Some averages did drop. Tyler O'Neill did not play great. Cedric Mullins, just not a good game. Not a good day for the Orioles offense. Just one that you kind of want to throw away and just move on to tomorrow. And tomorrow is the home opener against the Red Sox. And I think the game got pushed up 30 minutes earlier. So that'll be interesting to see. But again, Orioles lose 1-3. Horrible offensive game. Very reminiscent of what happened last year with this team. And this very up and down. Again, this team, baseball is such like a roller coaster and such like a movie. You start off the first game, you score 12 runs, you hit 6 home runs. Then the second game, you only score 2 runs. Then the third game, you go out and score 9 runs. And then this game, you only score 1 run. So this offense has been literally up and down, up and down. So hopefully tomorrow they can get things going again against the Red Sox. Back at home with the fans. Home opener for the Orioles. It's going to be very interesting. But we move on down to the pitching because today was a very interesting and intriguing debut, obviously. This was definitely the biggest deal of the game going into this game, and it was the debut of Tomoyuki Sugano, the Japanese pitching legend. Made his first start for the Orioles and also his first start in Major League Baseball. He had the MLB debut patch on, 35-year-old rookie. And, I mean, yeah, he goes out there in the first inning. Obviously, the Orioles scored the first run in the first inning to go up 1-0. And then Tomoyuki at the bottom of the first, in his first inning that he ever pitched in MLB, did get rattled a little bit, did let up 2 runs. But after he let up those first 2 runs, for the next 3 innings, he definitely settled in and looked a lot more calm and a lot more collected. But Tomoyuki's final stat line, only pitches 4 innings, gives up 4 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, and a strikeout on a 73 pitch count. So nothing like crazy good. Obviously, he did only give up the 2 runs, but nothing crazy good. But also not the worst thing in the world. You would have loved to see Tomoyuki get through 5 innings, but Tomoyuki was going to go through 5. He did walk out there for the 5th inning, and he was ready to pitch. And while he was warming up, waiting for the inning to start and for everyone to get ready, he left the game due to hand cramps. And Kevin Brown and Ben McDonald were talking about this on the broadcast, but you could see while he was warming up, the pitches looked fine in warm-up, but he was sweating a lot all game. You could tell from the very first inning, he was sweating a bunch all game. And he was like stretching out his hand. He was like flexing his hand because like someone was up with his hand. He was flexing. He was stretching it out, talking to his trainer, talking to his interpreter. And Brandon Hyde ended up pulling him from the game. And then we've later learned after the game that it was due to cramping. That was the initial thought, was that it was due to cramping. But he did leave the game due to a hand cramp on his pitching hand, on his right hand. And I mean, yeah, not obviously the way that you want his debut to end, leaving off of a hand cramp, but he should be good to go by his next start. Yeah, I mean, it was just a hand cramp. It's nothing too serious. I thought it maybe was a ligament injury on his hand or his thumb, but it was just a hand cramp. Apparently, he is feeling a lot better right now, and he should be good to go by his next start, which is good because in the first inning, he did get rattled a little bit. But then in the second inning, he really settled down. Third inning really settled down. And then fourth inning settled down again. Fourth inning was definitely his best inning that he'd had. He ended up finding his zone a lot better. He ended up having a lot more control later on in the game as he in the third and fourth inning. Really, he had a lot of control. But yeah, I mean, not an amazing game by Tomoyuki Sugano. Not a horrible game though. I mean, obviously, MLB debut, I'm not expecting him to go out here and, perform great. Obviously, that would have been nice, but, gets through 4 innings. He leaves a little bit early due to the hand cramp. Would have loved to see him get through 5, obviously. But, I mean, not the worst day by Tomoyuki. They're definitely, I will say this, though, there with him. You can definitely tell that he has it. He has the experience. And I think... And he was a guy who didn't walk like anybody in Japan. Like, that was something with him that he did not do. He did not walk guys. And he walked 2 batters here. He only had 1 strikeout, so you would love to see the strikeout numbers obviously go up because this is Major League Baseball, so strikeouts are pretty dominant in this league just because you want to try and get your guys out with strikeouts because, I mean, if the ball's getting put in play, it's just more chances and opportunities for the player to get a hit or for the player to reach off of an error or something like that. But Tomoyuki Sugano, had his day. First inning obviously got rattled. Let up the 2 hits, though. Let up the 2 runs. I mean, the 4 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks. But, again, there is a vision there. I think that if he can, settle down. Again, this was his debut. By the time it's his second start, by the time that he gets to his second, third, fourth start, I think he'll be a lot more settled in. And I think that the veteran experience of him being a pitcher for so long is going to come out and really help this team a lot because, look, he's a 35-year-old rookie. He's been pitching to Japan his entire career, and he comes to the MLB, 35-year-old rookie, MLB debut, gets rattled early, settles in, and hopefully from here on out, he's going to settle in and be that great guy. So, again, as I said yesterday, if he can come out and be the solid 3-4 guy for this lineup, it's going to make this pitching staff so much more complete and so much more trustworthy. Again, obviously, I still think that we don't have enough information on him to really consider him like, okay, yeah, this guy isn't good or this guy is great. So we just don't have enough info. We just haven't seen enough from him. I think after his first 3 starts, I think we'll have a pretty good indicator on, how he's going to be and what we can expect for him. But yeah, I'm not completely upset at his start, but I'm also not, elated by it. Does have to leave the game early, but good thing that he is going to be okay. So we did have to go to the bullpen early. Matt Bowman, 1.2 innings. Does really well, actually. Gets a strikeout, 1.2 innings, 0 hits, 0 runs, 0 walks, and gets the 1 strikeout in 19 pitches. So not bad for Matt Bowman. We did call him up literally this morning because Albert Suarez got hurt with shoulder inflammation, so we had to move him to the IL. We called Matt Bowman up. He came out there, performed well. That's a good sign for the bullpen. Ciano Perez, 0.2 innings, gives up 2 hits, gives up an earned run, and gives up a home run. This was his first home run that he's given up in a game since 2023, so he had a really long streak going, almost a 2-year streak of not letting up a home run. So does give up a home run today, only pitches 7 times. 2 hits, 1 run. Not great by Ciano Perez, but I think that he will bounce back and we'll be okay with it. And I think he'll bounce back and everything will be good. But Matt Bowman did great. Ciano Perez gives up the run, which was a little crucial just because this game was within reach the entire time. Obviously, you only lose the game by 2. You lose 1-3. You're within reach of the game the entire time. You were down 1-2, and then they hit the home run in the 7th inning to make it 1-3. So you were in the game the entire time until literally the last strike. You were in the game, but they weren't able to persevere. The offense wasn't able to do well, and we just move on from there. Brian Baker comes in, 1.2 innings, gives up a hit, and gets 4 strikeouts in 1.2 innings. That's big to see. That's huge to see out of Brian Baker. He did well. Matt Bowman did well. Brian Baker did well. Ciano Perez gives up the run, which was a little crucial, but again, it didn't matter. But Brian Baker, Matt Bowman did great. 4 strikeouts for Brian Baker in 1.2 innings. It's definitely one of the highlights, I'd say, of this game was Brian Baker and Ryan O'Hearn. I mean, the 2 positives that I'd have to say from this game are those 2 guys. But I mean, there really wasn't anything going on offense because we didn't actually manufacture a run. It was off of an error by the pitcher. But anyway, not great for the Orioles. They do play tomorrow in their home opener against the Red Sox. I think they play tomorrow, and then they get a day off Tuesday, and then they continue the series on Wednesday, Thursday. So we'll see how they do there. First 2 series are against division opponents, and the Orioles split this series 2-2 with Toronto. Obviously, the Orioles win the first game, lose the second game, win the third game, and then lose the fourth game. So it really has been an up and down season so far for the Orioles, and I say that in every literal meaning. Again, Orioles, 12 runs, then they score 2, then they score 9, then they score 1. So the offense has been a little bit inconsistent to start the year, but someone that I want to talk about in more specifically is Anthony Santander. Something that I think from this opening series, now that the opening series is over, that I want to talk about. The Orioles knew how to pitch to Anthony Santander. Now, again, I know it's just the beginning of the year, but you can tell that the Orioles were targeting the left inside corner of Anthony Santander. You could tell that every single time that we were pitching to him, they were all just targeting the same spot. And he did almost get hit today, which was a little scary because, again, we love Tony around here. Anthony Santander, amazing guy, amazing player. Obviously, Orioles fans love this guy. But, again, he's on the other team. But it's still a little scary to see him almost get hit. Obviously, you don't want to see players get hit in any circumstance. But Anthony Santander did not do much in this opening series against the Orioles. Had a 200 average through these first 4 games. Did have quite a few strikeouts as well. Didn't get a home run, which I thought that he was for sure going to get a home run in at least one of the 4 games in this opening series, just because he's due. Obviously hit 44 home runs last year. You would think that he's due to hit a home run, especially against his former team, but he didn't end up hitting a home run. I would say a player who absolutely destroyed us in this opening series was definitely Bo Bichette. He went nuts against us. Obviously, a 4.67 average in the first 4 games of the year for Bo Bichette. He did struggle a lot last year, but he also didn't play too many games. But Bo Bichette had a great series. The Orioles, on the other hand, Ryan O'Hearn has been a great hitter for us so far. Tyler O'Neill's been doing his thing. Adley Rutschman has obviously been doing his thing. Colton Cowser has struggled quite a bit. He didn't get he has struggled quite a bit. A 125 average through these first 4 games. Again, it is the first 4 games. There's still 158 games left of this season, so we still got a super long way to go. But Colton Cowser, again, being forced into this leadoff spot because of the Gunnar Henderson injury, not doing too great with Colton Cowser at leadoff. I think that once Gunnar comes back and we move Colton down the lineup a little bit, I think that things will be a lot better for him. But speaking of Gunnar Henderson, we got some good news coming out of this situation. He did have a 2-hit day today for Norfolk, and he did hit his first home run. Technically, first home run of the Norfolk season, obviously because he hasn't played in the majors yet. He's played in the majors yet this year, but does get his first home run. He gets 2 hits, gets a home run. Gunnar Henderson is looking ready to go. He's looking healthy. I think on one of the hits he had today, I think it was like 108 off the bat, so that's very nice to see. And the home run that he hit was an Oppo Taco opposite field home run, so that's great. That's great to see from Gunnar. Obviously, if this offense is going to want to truly succeed this year, you're going to need your best guy. You're going to need your best player. You're going to need your leadoff guy in Gunnar Henderson. And we'll see what the lineup looks like by the end of the year. I think that by the end of the year, I know the other day I said that Jackson Holliday could make his way up. I still think that it's possible for Jackson to make his way up, but I think that Gunnar Henderson is going to be at the leadoff spot for a majority of the year. I think that maybe in the coming years, like next season, I think Jackson Holliday can make his case to be leadoff. But Gunnar Henderson, he's going to get inserted into this lineup soon. He's going to make things a lot better. This lineup is going to have an instant change with Gunnar back. Just a new energy vibe into this team. You're going to need Gunnar Henderson. Again, you're going to need Gunnar Henderson on this team if we're going to want to succeed at a high level. He is your best player. He is your guy. MLB The Show cover athlete Gunnar Henderson, might I add. But yeah, Gunnar Henderson does get a 2-hit day today. Gets a home run. Should be coming back soon. I think they said that he could possibly play this Thursday or Friday once he comes off the 10-day IL. He'll be available to go and ready to go this Thursday or Friday, which would be very, very nice to see for Gunnar to come back. Because I'm not going to sit here and say that we need him, because, again, we did have 2 really great offensive games without him. But then we also had 2 not-so-great offensive games without him. I mean, today we got the hits. We were getting guys on base. 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position. Not great at all. You're not going to win games like that. Yesterday, Toronto went 1 for 14 with runners in scoring position, and they lost. So, again, you're going to need guys to manufacture runs. You're going to need guys to get on base, and you're going to need them to manufacture runs. Today, we were getting guys on base. We just weren't manufacturing the runs. Mateo went 0 for 2 with runners in scoring position. Tyler O'Neill went 0 for 2. Cedric Mullins went 0 for 3. So not great. Again, not great Orioles offense at all. This gave me a lot of PTSD from the end of last year because this looked very similar to last year's Orioles team. Like shockingly similar. Like the way that they were chasing on some pitches, all the flyouts that we had, the strikeouts that we had. It didn't feel like a new season at all. But, I mean, look, it's going to happen. There's still a lot of games after the season. Orioles split the opening series 2-2 against Toronto. Not bad, not great. It's whatever. We're going to move on. Home opener starts tomorrow. And, we're ready to go. We got Cade Povich pitching tomorrow in the home opener. So that'll be fun. Cade Povich, again, last year struggled a lot but he, I think a lot of Orioles fans, and not even just Orioles fans, just people in general, they could tell that Cade Povich, he's got something. Like, he's got some nasty stuff. His off-speed pitches are great. You could tell that he's got something, but he's just got to put it in the work. He's just got to put it on display for us to see. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. Cade Povich, I would love to see one of our starting pitchers get through 6 innings. I know Zach Eflin got through 6 innings, which was great to see, and we won that game convincingly. But the past 3 games have not been the greatest starting pitching showcase. And, I mean, I'll say it again, and I'm probably going to say it a lot of times during this show and, like, in episodes to come, but pitching is the thing that's going to cause this team the most problems. Today, the pitching was fine. Sugano did fine, but he did have to leave the game early. We did have to go to the bullpen early, but it didn't matter because the offense didn't do anything. But last game, when we won, Dean Kramer didn't play a great game, and then obviously Charlie Morton didn't play a great game either. But, so, I mean, yeah. Look, I mean, we're going to need starting pitching to step it up here. And hopefully Cade Povich can do that tomorrow. Cade Povich is, going into this year, obviously, he's looked at as the 5 guy. Obviously, he's looked at as the 5 guy in the rotation. But it would be nice for him to move up, maybe. Maybe move up to like the 4 guy. He's still really young. Still has got a lot of, a bright future ahead of him. But I was honestly looking at Cade Povich as somebody who could maybe possibly come out of the bullpen. And there was a lot of discussions earlier on in spring training about him maybe playing the bullpen because I think that he could be a great bullpen guy. He's got the stuff to be good, man. He's got to control his walks. He's got to control the ball. He's got to find his zone. He's got the stuff, man. It's just last year I remember last year early on he really struggled with walks. I remember last year in his first game he played was against Toronto, and I think he walked 2 batters, and then Jr. and Vlad Jr. just demolished the ball off of Cade Povich. But look, Cade Povich making his debut tomorrow. Not his debut, his season debut tomorrow against the Boston Red Sox. We'll see how that goes. Going to be back in Baltimore in front of the fans. Let's see how it goes. I'm really excited for it. I'm going to have another episode up tomorrow after the game. Again, every single day. This is a daily show. Every single day. We're covering the Orioles. We're covering the Ravens. We're covering all Baltimore news. If there's Orioles news, we're talking about it. If there's Ravens news, we're talking about it. Everything related to it, we are talking about it. This is, again, And going over to some Ravens news real quick, because, again, I wanted to talk about the Ravens just a little bit today. Obviously, a majority of this episode was about the Orioles' loss, but there was some news today about the Ravens. We did hear some stuff from Sashi Brown, who is the Ravens team president. He said that the Ravens will not be raising ticket prices in 2025. Obviously, that's great. Sashi Brown. The Ravens have expressed interest in hosting a future NFL draft and have been in discussions with the league about hosting an NFL draft. That would be fantastic. Obviously, the Ravens, people are starting to really see the Ravens more as not so much as a small market team. The Ravens have been looked at as a small market team for a pretty long time, obviously because of the location and a majority of it, to be honest, is about the location, obviously. You look at New York, you look at, Kansas City obviously is becoming a big market team just because of all the stuff going on in the team and outside the team. But you look at New York, you look at Pittsburgh, you look at all these, big statue teams in the league. You look at Chicago, look at all these teams and stuff like that. But, again, the Ravens being able to host an NFL draft, that'd be huge. Obviously, that'd be great. Again, NFL draft, great event. Love the draft. No complaints there. I feel like a lot of people would go. I would definitely end up going to that. And then M&T Bank Stadium renovations are on track. Training facility is also under renovation. So that's really interesting because M&T Bank Stadium, people say it's one of the better stadiums in football, and I agree. I love M&T Bank Stadium. No complaints there. Some renovations are on track and ready to go, so we're going to be seeing some new stuff in M&T Bank Stadium. And you look around the league and you look at, I know Chicago's getting a new stadium. I know Tennessee's getting a new stadium. I know Buffalo's getting one. Jacksonville's getting one. I know all these stadiums are getting, or all these teams are getting new stadiums, and they look gorgeous. They look grand. They look huge. And I remember, it kind of started with, SoFi and the Allegiant Stadium for the Raiders and the Rams and the Chargers. Those stadiums are crazy, and the stadiums, at least in the discussion stuff, the pictures that they've shown for those new stadiums coming up, they look crazy, and there's teams getting some crazy renovations and stuff like that. I don't think obviously it's not going to be like that, but some renovations are on track. That'll be interesting to see. We'll see where we go from there. And I mean, yeah, just great news all around for the Ravens. We move on. Again, it is draft season. The draft is soon. Not soon. I mean, in a few weeks, so pretty much soon. But again, I was thinking about doing a live stream for the draft, if that'd be cool with y'all. And I was also going to be doing Mock Draft Monday starting tomorrow. Mock Draft Monday. I'm going to be doing a mock draft for the NFL, just the first round for the mock draft, and then also going to be discussing some players that the Ravens can get in later on down the line. We're going to be talking about that stuff all throughout the draft process, all throughout the offseason. Lots of things going on with the Ravens, and just good news all around, and I think we move forward. Thank you guys for watching this episode of Birds of a Feather. This was episode 4. I'm having a great time doing this. It's a lot of fun. I'm having a great time talking to you guys, having a great time covering Baltimore sports. It's always a lot of fun. Hope you guys have enjoyed this episode, and I hope you guys enjoy the series as well. And I appreciate all you guys for all the support. It really does mean a lot to me. This is something that I've always wanted to do, and I'm really glad that I have the chance to come on here on YouTube or Spotify, wherever you're listening, and just share my thoughts, my opinions, going over recap, going over news, and all that stuff like that. So, again, tomorrow with a mock draft and also covering the Orioles home opener. And, yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.